Good morning, everyone. Happy Monday. I'm here in Nevada. I believe Alex is, where do you live now, Alex? In San Jose, South Bay?
San Mateo.
Oh, okay. And my guest today is Alex Lee. Some of you in the dance world know him as the flying guy. I used to call them superheroes, Alex and Chi, and then his other partner like Kim, Alex and Kim, because they do a lot of acrobatics in the cabaret division, as you will, in the salsa. And he went, this guy, if let's say if Alex is at the MMA competition, he will fight anybody. So in the salsa competition, he will compete against everyone, man. I mean, he went all over the world, and he was very proud. He's a San Francisco 49er guy. He would rip up that shirt, and you would see San Francisco. Very proud of his city. So please welcome Mr. Alex Lee. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well. Thanks, Rod. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. I thought it's kind of confusing to me only because I thought you only had famous people on your blog here. I'm so not famous.
Of course, at one point before retirement, you were famous. Look, I've been all over the world. Every time I go to Asia and everything, it's like, hey, you know Alex Lee? He's like, yeah, I know him. Just because I'm from San Francisco, you have to ask me that,
That's awesome.
So they know who Alex Lee is, dude. I mean, back in the day, my friend, you were probably the only Asian that would go toe-to-toe with just about everyone. The only Asian that I knew of. I didn't know a lot of Asians competing. Did you?
Not a lot.
No, that's why that's why you were well known. And of course, I'd like to know your story because you went from dancer and teacher to firefighting, starting a family, of course. And then you got your injuries there because I know that you were at my festival at Reno Dance Expo last year, and rightfully so. So, Alex, let's talk about firefighting for a moment, okay? Because not too many people know the details of firefighting, and you got your profession really got really famous when 9/11 happened, and
yeah,
and we, like we've always known there's firefighters, but we didn't know the risk. We didn't know the danger. You guys are like military, military, they don't run from the enemies. They go to the enemies. Your enemy is fire and you go to it. You don't run away from it.
Yeah.
What was going through your mind before you get into firefighting, and why firefighting?
So I've been in the fire service now 24 going on 24 years, and it's all been one department, San Jose. Rod, it was just about figuring out a career where I could use my skill set. We'll put it that way. I mean, just kind of what suited me best. And when I was looking through careers, a long time ago, I was like, wow, firefighting looks like something just for me. I'm a very physical person. I like working with groups of people, working in teams. I don't like working by myself. I work better in groups. It's exciting. It's super dangerous. And, that all kind of fit my MO, man. So I'm like, let me give this a look. And I started looking into the actual career. And the more and more I looked into it, the better I saw the fit. And so I got real lucky, and San Jose offered me a job 24 years ago, man. And here I am, never looked back.
Yeah, you never looked back. You never changed station. You've always been there. And I understand that there are probably some, I don't know, there's some vacancy there. You deserve all of this, man, because you never left. One thing I know about you is you're a very loyal guy. This is, I know for a fact, man. And you don't mind publishing the people that you're loyal to. And on the other hand, you don't mind publishing the people that are disloyal.
Absolutely. Call it like my friend.
Yeah, I mean that's just the way it is, Were you in powerlifting? Were you lifting weights and before you did this? Because in dancing, I already know, from one weight lifter to another, I know if you're lifting weights or not.
Yeah. A lot of training, ever since a long time ago, since before high school. training. Played a lot of football, played some
Football, yeah.
rugby. Yeah, so always physical, always into training and things like that. So that really helped me in the career of firefighting for sure. And eventually, oddly, it helped me in dancing. It really did. It was obviously, when you're throwing people around and catching them, all that form helps, all that training helps. It really does. So
Let's
kind
go
of like
to,
I said, I just played to my strengths. So when I
yeah,
found
of course.
salsa, and I found out there was, through my instructors, there was, a lift. There was a lift aspect to salsa. There was a trick aspect. I'm like, wow, I can utilize my strength and everything that I've been. So you just try to play to what you can be best at. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm not the most graceful dude, right? So I'm not the most, elegant dude on the dance floor or anywhere. So
Right.
I did not try to be that person on the dance floor. I didn't try to be elegant. I didn't try to be graceful, but I tried to give you what I had, what I could offer.
Like I said when I was talking to Ava last week,
Yeah.
with Rosa, with Louis Rosa,
Yeah.
the thing that made them different amongst the other competitors who are doing some gracefulness and techniques, precision, and all of that swag, whatever.
Sure.
The difference,
Sure.
and one of the reasons they were champions is the intensity and the fierce of their choreography. And you pretty much were like the second Louis Rosa there because of your style, the fierceness, and the intensity. And as a performer and even a competitor, like you guys, and for me as a judge, that's one way to get my attention.
Yeah.
And you get good points for that. So, but going
Awesome.
back to the firefighting, bro, what was the training like? And did you ever think it's like, what the hell am I getting into?
Yeah. So the training in firefighting is intense. There's just no two ways about it. It's incredibly intense. But the reason for that is because of the situations you're going to find yourself in that are completely not in control and intense beyond your wildest imaginations. And was there a point where I stopped and said, what am I doing? What am I doing here? Yeah, absolutely. And I know exactly when that point was. It was my first real fire. So through training, as you go through academy, all the fires are controlled. You have captains with you, people who've been through the fire with you right next to you, instructing you, teaching you. And you're in a very controlled environment. Even though there's live fire in front of you, there's a lot of safety lines in place. There's a lot of, everything is done to make sure that you're not going to get hurt during that training. At a real fire, there's nobody.
There's
it's
nobody.
You.
Yeah.
It's you and your partner and your captain, your engineer. Your engineer's pumping the lines. Your captain's running around the building doing a size up. But as a firefighter, it is you and your partner, and that is it. There is no safety precautions in place. There's no control factor. It's completely 100% unmitigated. And that's why you're there. You're there to actually mitigate. You're there to control. But being that person, being the first time I was there and saying that, oh my God, I am here to control this.
Yeah.
And this fire was going right over the top of our heads. It was huge. Yeah, that is when I was like, what the hell am I doing here? And
if you guys weren't firefighters, if you didn't know what you were doing, it just takes seconds to die, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And so, you have that moment, you're like, Jesus Christ. But then what happened, your training kicks in, but what you really rely on the guy next to you. And the guy next to me was my teacher, my mentor for firefighting. His name was Ed McClanahan. And just having him on right next to me, I can't tell you, Rod, it was everything. And He put his hand on my shoulder. He goes, okay, kid, let's go. We're going in. And then I knew, okay, we're going in. And if anything goes wrong, I know he's going to know what to do. So then you just kind of get that calm in you. And then you go to work. All of a sudden, all that training comes back to you. You know how to pull those lines, how to advance, how to stay low, how to breathe slow, find the fire, find it by feel. You can't see because it's all black. You're not going to be able to see. So you go by feel and sound. And that's what we did. And we go in there and we put that fire out, came out, just happy to be alive. And then every fire from there, it grows and it gets better and better and better and easier, but it never gets 100% easy. I can tell you that right now. Every fire is different. So it's yeah,
What
it's a
was
dynamic career.
what was your most dangerous one?
Um, wow, that's a good one. That there's been a number of them.
Oh, especially if you know you live there in California. I mean,
Yeah,
Jesus, you know.
yeah. So a lot of the okay, so my most dangerous encounters, personally, have all is always at the firefighter or the paramedic position in the
Mm,
fire engine. They're in the back seat, and the reason why that is those are the guys or girls who go in with the hose lines and they go in first. So they're always in the most danger, and they are, in my opinion, the most important position on the fire ground, bar none. More important than captains, more important than chiefs, more important than anybody else because they do the work. So my most dangerous situations have been in the firefighter position. There's been a bunch though, Rod. I mean, I've had a 2-ton air conditioner, commercial air conditioner unit fall through a roof and land 3 feet away from me. I would have been dead,
why?
straight up. I've had
Wow.
transmission falling all around me because we were in a burning, auto shop, and a bunch of transmissions fell over off this thing and just totally could have killed me. So yeah, and there's been other situations that had nothing to do with fire. I was attacked by a guy a crazy guy, who was on drugs, and he was trying to stab me with a pair of scissors.
Mm,
That's dangerous. That's really dangerous.
yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I was hit. We were hit 2 times. I was hit one time while driving in an ambulance, in the back of an ambulance. We're going code 3 back to the hospital,
Yeah.
and we were sideswiped, at around 30, 40 miles an hour, by a car. And then one time going back home in the fire engine, not code 3, code 2, and we were hit by a bunch of kids who were street racing. They hit us about 50 miles an hour in the side of the engine, and so there, bro, there's a lot of ways you can get killed in the firefighting business
That's
besides
true.
being in fire. Yeah.
Now,
So,
explain to me the codes that you were mentioning. What does those mean?
oh, I'm sorry. Code 3. Code 3 means lights and sirens, and going through red lights, and going as fast and as safely as we can, but as fast as we can to an incident. That's called code 3. Code 2 means no lights and sirens. You're driving just like a regular car would be driving.
Got it. Got it.
Yeah.
And oh
Yeah.
my God. So is it true that in a building that's on fire or about to collapse, is it true
Mhm.
that you have to go beside the elevator or under the stairs or something to protect yourself when the building crashes?
Okay. So if
What's the strongest structure where it can help you?
all right.
Help you save your life.
Yeah. Yep. So to answer that fairly, Rod, the goal is to never be inside of a building if it's going to collapse, if you
Right.
know it's going to collapse. Is always, if you see any sign of collapse, is to get out. Absolutely.
Right.
Is there a safe place inside of a building that is collapsing? The answer to that is no. There
No,
is no safe place.
there's no such
You
thing.
Yeah, you can try go under a stairs. You can try to go in an elevator shaft, anything like that. But there's no safe place inside of a building that's going to collapse. And 9/11, you just proved that point.
I mean, bro, when I think of 9/11, I really think of the firefighters. I really thought of them, and I think of them every year. The
Mhm.
firefighters we lost, those were
Yeah,
brave, brave men, dude. I mean, like I said, you guys don't run away from fire. You go to the fire. You face the
yeah.
fire. And from what
Hmm.
you told me, when you go there, it's freaking dark. What the hell? You
Oh,
would think it's bright because it's all fire, right?
yeah. It's because of the smoke is so black. You cannot see your hand in front of your face, and that is true. You literally are like this once you enter that environment. 99% of the time. 1% of the time, maybe if the fire's not so bad, maybe the smoke is just down to the 3-foot level and you can get under it. But most of the time, interior structure fires that are hot and that are super dangerous, and you go in, you cannot see. You cannot see. You have to go by feel, and you got to go by sound. So yeah, it's pretty. That's one thing I think aspiring firefighters don't understand yet until they get into academy and until they get into a real live fire event. They don't realize that going into fire, you actually cannot use your eyes. You're going to be blind, and
Wow.
so add that to your stress level.
Now, how long is the training camp?
For our academy, it's usually anywhere between 18 to 20 weeks. It's about 5 months, and it's 40 hours a week. It's actually more. It actually goes a little bit more than that. It's 40 to 50 hours a week. But it's super intense mentally and super intense physically, because we put them through not just physical drills and physical training, but we are constantly in the books with them. They have to learn a lot by reading. They got to learn a lot by watching videos, and then they got to learn a lot actually on the drill ground. So, and I have really, really intimate knowledge of fireground training now, because I do a lot of work at San Jose Fire Academy, and I actually do a lot of work at this South Bay Fire Academy, which is run by a college.
Oh, I see.
So yeah, that is one of my side things that I do. That's one of the things I really enjoy doing, is training with new recruits.
Right. Now, with all of your gears, because I know the military have gears, and my brother-in-law is a retired Marine, and now he's an officer of the law here, and he's a sheriff here in our city.
Nice.
He was telling me that his gear weigh about 60 pounds when you go in training, and all that, this backpack. How much do you guys, your gear, all the things that you do, including heads, your body gear and everything, how much does it weigh in total?
So last we checked, with turnout gear, with the air bottle, with the helmet, and with the minimum amount of tools that we would carry into any fire, that is a minimum of 85 pounds is
Holy
what we
smoke, bro. How the moment that the first time you wore that, were you moving? Were you able to move?
I was like, whoa, they want me to work? I'm like,
That's
I put
85 pounds, man.
I know. I put it on. I was like, wow, this is no joke. It's funny when people come into the station or something like that. Sometimes we dress them up in our gear, and they are shocked. They're like, wow, this is heavy. This is a lot of stuff. So yeah, it's heavy, man. Yeah,
no joke,
that's
man.
why we got it.
I know that there's a lot of gadgets that you guys are like Batman, superhero. You guys all kinds of gadget. Let's talk about your headgear. I know you have it there, and tell me, can you explain to me? What do you call it?
I'm sorry, dude. You cut out completely.
Okay, can you hear me now?
I can't hear you.
Okay, hold on. Let's see. How about now?
Nope. Can you hear me? I cannot hear you.
I can hear you. I
cannot hear you. So, I didn't do anything here wrong.
I tell you what. If you can't hear me, probably it's you. So what you need to do is get out from.
No, I'm not on mute, and I have not muted you that I can see. Let me see.
Yeah. Let's see. Okay, so let's do this.
Try back again.
Yeah.
I can't hear you. All right, let me chat to you. Okay.
Get out for a moment, then come back, bro.
All right, I'll leave.
Yeah.
I'll leave and then come back, right? Okay.
Yes. Sorry, ladies and gents, we had a little bit of a connection problem there. But it's very interesting in what he's talking about. Their gear. I mean, 80 pounds of gear. Are you serious? This is very hard to move. So you really have that. You gotta have that strength training in order for you to move around, and you can't be slowing down during fire, during danger, and it's amazing. And this is the reason why I invited him, because it'd be curious to know what it's like, So okay, he's back here. Let's see if he.
Okay, I can hear you now.
Yeah. I thought that was a problem there.
Yeah, you completely muted for for that point. So my apologies, bro.
So let's talk about, I know you have a lot of equipments, but I only want to talk about the headgear for now.
Okay.
I know you have it there. Can you explain to me each part of what it is? Because not too many people know the use of that headgear. There are so many details there, and it's actually pretty heavy.
Yeah, it is. All right, so let's start with this. Okay, so this is a Nomex hood. Okay, so the first thing we do, put this on like that. See that?
Yeah.
It covers our ears, covers our neck. It's made out of a fire-resistant material called Nomex.
So all of these things that you guys wear is fire resistant, yeah?
Has to be. Absolutely. Has to be. You're walking in at anywhere between 200 to 400 degrees Fahrenheit at your level, and that can, yeah, everything has to be fire resistant. So
nice.
Start with a hood right here. Okay. Then you put this thing on right here. All right. This is your face piece.
That's the face piece. Okay.
Yeah. This is a microphone right here. So you can hear me talk. See, can you hear me talk? Check.
Okay,
yeah.
So it is worn like that. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Just turn this off.
That's where the oxygen is going to, right?
Right. And this is your regulator right here. This plugs in to your air tank here. And then you hook this in here like that. See that? That's how you breathe.
Man.
Okay? Yeah. Totally.
And like you were mentioning earlier, you got about 20 minutes in your oxygen, correct?
Yeah, they're rated for 45 minutes. Their tanks are rated for 45 minutes, but in all reality, you can't. You're probably in there for about 25 minutes before you start really running out of air.
Got it.
And then this is the iconic fire helmet. Okay. This is it. Usually
what is it made of, bro?
This is made of just a hard polymer plastic. Some are made out of leather now. They've always been making them out of leather, but fairly recently, our department has been allowing leather helmets as well.
Wait a minute. Isn't leather prone to burning?
No, I mean leather. Actually, it's really good protection. It holds its shape really well. It will not catch on fire very easily at all, which is why they've used for many years. Yeah. The problem with them before was they're very heavy. Now they're making them, I don't know how they're doing it, but they are making them a lot lighter. The modern leather helmet's a lot lighter now. So, yeah, they're good. It's good equipment. There's a lot of tradition in leather helmets because it's old school. It's from back. That's what they originally were making the helmets out of. But then they went to plastic eventually. But a lot of people like that leather feel, that leather look, and that's what a lot of guys in my department wear. I would buy one myself, but I'm getting close to retirement, and
Are you? Come on, man. You're not that old yet. I'm older than you, dude. I'm like 54 years old. Come on.
I know. I'll be retired in about 20 months, my friend.
I mean, when you told me that you worked as a firefighter for 24 years, bro, it was like yesterday, right? It was like yesterday, man. I mean, I commend you for doing that because that's a tough job, bro. I mean, it's a freaking, not too many people, it's a freaking dangerous job. So that helmet there, it protects you from falling debris and all of that stuff, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And a lot of people often wonder, why is the helmet shaped the way it is, the fire helmet? And the reason why it's shaped the way it is, if you see the bill right here, the back end of it, see how it slopes down? That's to get the hot water that's bound to hit your helmet and make it come off the back of the helmet here and miss, and not go down the back of your neck. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's for right there. This is just an identifier right here.
Identifier, okay.
Shows you what engine you're on, what truck you're on, and what station you're from. I'm from engine 26. Proud to say, engine 26, station 26 in San Jose. It's the busiest station in San Jose.
Wow.
By far. And it's one of the top 20 busiest stations in the nation.
Are you guys? Do you guys help when there's like the Napa Valley emergency or anything, or sometimes? Do you guys? Oh, really? Yeah.
100%. Our department, What you're asking about is strike teams. So our department has certain stations that are designated as strike team engines. And when the state calls for us, we go. And so we'll send usually up to 5 at a time, five engine companies make up a strike team. We'll send them out to help. But they've been going out all year. There's some out right now. There's some out right now down south in LA.
Well, let me ask you this question personally, and it's not political. It's just, you know, I could obviously ask you this question because you'll be brutally honest. Mm-hmm. What's happening with Napa? Is it a forest management problem or is it a global warming problem?
I think it's both. I mean, what you mean? You mean all the basic super fires that have been happening? It's both, man. It really is. It really is. They haven't managed the forest very, very well because of all the laws. Okay,
right.
And that I'm not going to be political about it, but it's just true. When you let trees grow crazy and out of control, when they set on fire, they're so close together, everything's going to burn around them. All the trees are going to catch on fire. You add a nice wind to that, and you see what happens. It's also global warming. It's just getting hotter. We all know
hotter and hotter every year. Yeah,
getting drier and drier. And then when that happens, and you put that heat, that wind, and that dry fuel together, this is what happens. These super fires, bro, these are not anomalies anymore. This is going to happen every single year. It's happened every year for the last 4 or 5 years now. We've had a major type fire event in the state, right? Like this has been crazy.
But somewhere, if we can unrestrict the rules by forest management to do more, sweep all of those things, I think it can reduce the every year problem we have in California.
I would hope so. I don't know for a fact. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not a forestry expert, but it just makes sense, man. If they could manage that part a little bit better, I think because what happens, I mean, it starts out where there's a big heavy fuel load in the forests, in the trees, and if sweeps through and it gets to the cities and the towns, and it's over. It's out of control, and so yeah, man. I think it's both. Like you asked. What is it? Is it forest management or is it global warming? It is both, absolutely.
Now,
not just one.
Let's talk about kids and teenagers and future people who wants to be a firefighter, because you would ask them when they're young, like, I want to be a firefighter. And that's kind of nice, but we know it changes the moment we become teenagers. But what's your advice for the young teenagers who actually really wants to do firefighting?
Yeah, well, my advice to them is, number one, look into the job and make sure it is something you really do want to do. Now, let's just assume that it is something they really do want to do, and they want to know the path. I would recommend a couple of things. Number one, fire departments usually don't hire men or women under the age of, say, right around 25.
Wow.
And there are some who get on under 25, but that's a very small percentage. And the reason for that is this is the type of job that you need some maturity. You need some maturity, about yourself to be doing and seeing the things that we see and doing the things that we do. So that being said, number one, I'd say you need to go ahead and get a 4-year degree, because you're going to be out of college by 22, right? They're still not going to pick you up because you're so young. But so why not get that 4-year degree on you? Okay, that's number one. Number two is the fastest way into fire departments nowadays is to become a paramedic. All right, so that's a good 3 to 4 year commitment right there by itself, because you got to be an EMT first. Right. Then you got to get some experience and get a job as an EMT and get some experience as an EMT. And then you got to go through medic school. Medic school is generally, depending on what program you're in, it's 1 to 2 years long all by itself. And then you got to get out in the field and work as a paramedic. So you're still looking at another 3-year commitment right there. So being a paramedic really does help. You can go to junior college and learn about the job by going through fire science programs and getting an AA in fire science. That is good. And most of what that does, it teaches you about the job. It will enhance your resume somewhat. However, just doing that is not going to get you a fire job as fast as becoming a paramedic, because they just flat out need people who have a paramedic license. And so that is probably the most surefire way to get into the fire service if I was to tell somebody. But I
Inter-
always encourage getting that college degree. That 4-year degree really does help. So it's a good thing for you.
It does help. And I like the point about the paramedic because it does prepare you for firefighting.
Yeah.
With all of the first aid and everything, all the procedures and the emergency thing. It makes sense. I was going to ask you something I almost forgot here. Now, do you, as a firefighter in general, do you guys fear the fire or you respect the fire?
Oh, you know, it's a little bit of both. You know, you have to have a healthy amount of fear. You can't, I'll put it this way, homie. You can't have courage without fear.
That's true.
If you don't fear anything, you've got no courage.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's not really courage. It's just stupidity, in my opinion. If you don't fear a fire, you're going to die in a fire one day. That's my opinion. You have to respect it also. So you talked about, do we respect it? Absolutely. Do we fear fire? Yeah, we do. We do, but we don't let that fear stop us because we know that's our job and we know that's our profession. And if you're going to be good at what you do, then you can't let that fear overtake you. But you know what? Every fire you go into, you know, when you're you know, a couple miles from the fire and you can see that smoke in the air and you can see that heavy black column and multiple calls are coming in and dispatch is telling you, you know, all the right things about that this is a really working fire. You know, if you don't have a little bit of respect and fear in you, you're just not human, and this job isn't for you. Honestly, if you don't have that, then you should not be a firefighter because you're going to put yourself in danger one day, and if you're putting yourself in danger, somebody's with you, and you're going to put that person in danger. And even worse, if there's people in that building, and your job is to get that hose line in between them and the fire, and to get them out safely, you're not going to do a good job. So you better have a little bit of fear in you. You better have a little respect in you about what's about to happen. Okay, so definitely.
Wow. Let's talk about safety for a moment here in general, my friend. A regular house on fire, all the smoke. What's an individual there to do when they are in that middle of fire? I know they're going to try to get out as much as they can, but
you're talking about a civilian.
A civilian, yes.
You're talking about you. Okay, not a firefighter. You're talking about someone.
Not a firefighter. Yeah.
Okay, so the number one thing I can recommend. Okay, so obviously the number one thing is to get out, right? If you can get out, right? So let's assume you can't get out, like you're saying. That's the better question. Yeah. All right. Close the door. Get into a room and close the door. Close it. That door, even a hollow core interior room door, that door will hold back fire way more than you ever imagined. Wow. So close the door. Put some stuff under, put some stuff along the bottom of the door and to stop that smoke from getting out. So number one, find a room and close the door. Number two, figure out how to be heard and seen somehow, some way. Use your cell phone. Everyone has cell phones now. Give them call in to 911. Tell them I'm in the house. I'm on the second floor, on the down the hallway to the right, it's second door. That's where I am. Use that. If you can't open a window, scream your head off. Let us know where you are, and we'll come and get you. That is the best thing to do. Close the door, though.
Now, in the house, what do we need to have? Do we have to have a fire extinguisher, one fire extinguisher, two fire extinguisher, or what?
I would definitely have at least one fire extinguisher in the house, and I'd place that near the kitchen. That's where all the fires. That's where a lot of the fires start. Is right there at the kitchen. So I would always have at least one fire extinguisher in the house. They sell them everywhere, brother. They sell them at Home Depot. They sell them at Target, So, and they're small. They're only like, I don't know, 18 inches big or something like that. They're real light, about 5 pounds. But get you a dry chem extinguisher, put it in the house. At least one. At least one.
Now, if they don't have the immediate access to extinguisher, because I've seen this in the movie, and I've done it myself. I think it's the most dangerous thing. I want to know your expertise, because your expertise. We try to fan the flame with a fucking cotton like this. Is that a dangerous thing? I've seen it too many times, and it only spreads a fire, right?
Yeah, I'm going to tell you a story. When I was 14 or 15, me and my brother were watching TV in one room, and there was a lamp on in the other room. This might have been the turning point of where I said, you know what, one day I'm going to be a firefighter. But we heard a pop in the room, and I go in there, and this whole lamp shade, I guess the bulb had exploded, but the whole lamp shade was on fire. And it wasn't that big, bro. It was only this big, but it was fully on fire. So I went in, I yelled at my brother, hey, we got a fire. I went and got a towel like an idiot. And I didn't know how to do anything. I figured, back in those days, the way I used to mitigate situations is I would hit things.
Right.
Hit people, hit things. That's what seemed to always fix the problem, right? So I take this towel and I hit it. What a dummy. And I hit it right into the blinds, right into the curtains. And boom.
Yeah.
God, all the curtains caught on fire right to the ceiling.
Just like that, right away, right?
Legit fire, full on legit fire. And I look at us and go, oh my God. And I yell at my brother, I was like, bro, call 911, it's a big fire. And I get in there and I start, man, but thank God we had an extinguisher in the house, just like I was telling you. Ran and got that, sprayed it, and it went out, thank God. But yeah, do not.
The extinguisher is the most effective one. The extinguisher is the most effective one than water, isn't it?
Yeah, dry chemical, I would say, is very effective at putting out fires. So definitely, that's the one, and that's the one they sell. Yeah. Also, if it's a water extinguisher, it's under pressure, and that pressure can die over time. And if you don't check it and don't make sure that pressure is always up to a certain level, the day you have to use it, the one day in your life you have to use it, and it sputters out and doesn't work. So I would just highly recommend, just get those store-bought, those dry chem fire extinguishers. They're the best.
Good. Now, what else do you recommend besides fire extinguisher in a regular house?
Okay, so a regular house, have a plan on how to get out. Understand, which ways you can get out. Can you get out the back door, the front door, and then, if you have to, you got to get out your windows. You understand? And then where are you going to get out? Are you going to stand on another parapet, on a roof? Is there like a balcony outside of your windows or something? Or if you don't have anything outside of your windows, and I had this in San Francisco when I lived there, have one of those escape ladders, those ones that are made out that are just rope, connected to a bunch of ladder rungs, so you can throw that out of a window and get down.
That's a great idea. Actually, that's a freaking great idea. In any house, actually, you can have that rope. That's a great idea.
Exactly. So yeah, those are all good things to have. Have a plan. Sleep with your doors closed. Okay, don't sleep with your doors open, especially if you have kids. Close their doors, man. You guys have no idea, man. I've been in homes. Every firefighter knows this, where an entire house, not just a room, but an entire house will be completely burned up from the inside, just all black, literally. And then you open a door, and it looks like what you see behind me. It looks like this.
Wow.
It looks like this. Looks like nothing has happened. Looks like there wasn't even fire in there. And every firefighter you ask can attest to that. And it's just from keeping their door closed.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, do you hear that? You have to close your bedroom. Very important. See, that's a good point right there. My God, I'm learning a lot from you, my friend.
Good.
Let's talk about dancing.
Let's talk.
Because that's your passion. I know this is your fucking passion, man. First of all, you started in hip hop. How the hell did you do that?
Yeah, that was growing up, man. I used to break dance in the 80s, bro.
I know. I saw some of your routine one time. I think it's either you were performing at Kokomo with another person and you had a mask.
Junior.
Or whatever.
I was Junior.
Junior. Was that really Junior?
And Rod, you know those masks we were wearing?
Yeah.
We were wearing those before Jabberwockies even existed.
That's true.
We had the right idea. Now, we weren't nearly as good as the Jabberwockies, but we at least had the idea. Honestly, man, we had those white masks before Jabberwockies even existed, man. But yeah.
But I will never forget that routine because I didn't know you dance hip hop. And then when I've known that you were the one where it was hard not to notice you because of your body build. I didn't know the other one. I didn't know it was Junior, bro. But I'll never forget. I was like, this motherfucker, he not only salsa, he could do hip hop,
That was awesome, man. We had a good time with that one. Good times, man.
It's pretty good, bro. It's pretty good. Now, tell me your passion for competition because I think you're a What are you? When is your birthday?
1969 is when I was born, so I'm 51.
You're an Aries, right?
Yeah, April. Yeah.
All the Aries I knew, they're very competitive.
Oh, is that right?
They will die competing, bro, unless they can't do it anymore. And that's you. Why do you do that?
So competition. All right. So we got to kind of rewind it back when I started with Ava.
Do it.
Yeah. So Ava Apple and Luis Rosa were my original teachers, and I only got into it simply because I wanted to meet some new people. I heard about how salsa was fun, and I kind of needed something for balance, because I had firefighting on one side. It's very intense. Yeah. It's my profession. It's an intense job, man. So I just needed some balance. And like you said, I had been dancing all my life, but I'd never done Latin dancing. So I'm like, all right, let me check this out. So I got into that, got with Ava and Louis and joined their team. And I would see them compete, right? I would see them compete. And that gave me, a little incentive there. But also for me anyway, there is no faster way to get good at something other than competition. When you bring a competitive thing into it, then it gets to a whole nother level for me. It's like, okay, now I'm trying to prove myself in front of some judges, going up against some other people who do the same thing, who are all probably pretty good at it. So let me just look like, and when we first started competing, I would tell Chi, I was like, let's just look like we belong. That is all I wanted to do. I'm like, look, let's just go out there. I don't care if we win, lose, or doesn't matter. Yeah. Let's go on there and say, okay, they deserve to be on that stage along with those other competitors. So that gets you to those levels. It gets you to those higher levels when you think like that. You know what I'm saying? When you ask that of yourself, that show that you belong on this kind of a stage with these kind of people, and that gets that work ethic going, that gets the training going, and that starts that whole process of trying to be the best you can on competition day. Yeah. So that's the best way I can explain it. It was the fastest way I saw to get good at something, and I wanted to get good, and so it became, like you're right, it became, at first it's a curiosity, and then it turns into, a hobby, and then from there it turns into a passion, and it's a stepping process for me. But when it hit that passion level, it was all about competing and getting on stage and entertaining the people. It was a hell of a run. It was good times.
It was good, man, because like I said, everywhere I went in Asia teaching workshops, they're like, hey, where are you from? I'm from San Francisco. You know Alex Lee? Awesome. It's true, man. It's true. But okay, what was the training like for you and Chi and Kim? Because you do hard work, man. Acrobatics and stuff. That's pretty tough. Right. That's pretty tough.
Yeah. The training for us, anyway. Okay. So you got to go back to, let's start with Chi, right? Right. She is so lucky I was her partner.
Right?
You hear that? She's going to kill me.
Dude, she's the most brave woman I know, man. And she's like, right. she's an Aries also, so she's pretty competitive.
No, actually, she and I have the exact same birthday. Four
right?
years apart.
No wonder,
April 9th.
Dude. No wonder.
4 years apart. 4 years apart. Yeah. Anyway, for Chi and I, so we had to look at ourselves and say, okay, what do we got, right? And there's just not a whole lot of natural talent from me. I'm all kidding aside. She is incredibly trained with her gymnastics. She was at an amazingly, a really high level there. So she brought that to the table. However, neither one of us are particularly talented in dancing. We just aren't. So I said, look, if we're going to do this, we have to outwork these guys. We got to outwork them, meaning we got to be in the studio when they're not. And then maybe we have a chance. Right. So the training was crazy. And then if you think about it, man, so much of it had to be trick training, acrobatic training, strength and flexibility training, and then the dancing, and then the choreography also. So our workload was hard, really hard, as opposed to if we just competed in straight up salsa dancing, then we would just have to train the dancing. Sure. And we would be better dancers, but we didn't have that because we choose to do the tricks and be in the cabaret divisions. So much of our time, it has to go dedicated purely to that acrobatic, and the trick level, and
Right.
and to be safe and all that, and not get hurt, killed doing it, because as you know, man, we try to push the level, we try to take it up as many levels as we can, and so our training was hard, it was intense, and there were very, very few days off in between my firefighting. It was 90% of my days off were in the studio with her.
I applaud you guys for that, because when it comes to your competitors, dude, your competitors were legends too. I mean, Billy Pajardo, Ava Apple, Luis Rose. Are you kidding me? And and you weren't afraid. I was like, oh yeah, we're going to compete with them. We're just happy to be here.
Right. So yeah, man, I remember, man. So actually, I never actually had to compete against Ava, thank God, because
thank the Lord.
she would have smoked me back in the day.
Yeah.
But back then it was like Alex De Silva, Christian Oviedo, this other guy named Jimmy, I forgot his last name, but man, we had some rivalries going, bro. And Gabi, Victor and Gabi, oh man, we were battling, dude. We would meet at like every competition, bro. Every competition. We go to the Mayan, SF, LA. I mean, we were all going to the same competitions, and we were all going head to head. And at first, those for me, those guys were legends, right? I mean, they were and not only that, dude, they're Latin. I'm not even Latin. I'm Chinese. You
were Asian. You were the only Asians brave enough to go against them, dude.
Exactly, man. So they got that blood in them, bro. They got that. They grew up with this. They know it's so good, and they're just they're just amazing, man. And I'm like, all right, Chi, we got to pull out the stops, man, because we got to bring what they don't have as good as we, and that was the tricks. I mean, just face to face in a dancing competition, I got no chance. But so that's why we really started emphasizing these tricks. I was like, this is the only chance we got against these guys to go head to head. This is our only weapon, right? So let's go get them. Let's do the biggest tricks we can, and hopefully it'll work.
I mean, ladies and gentlemen, this is the thing, because we're old now, and some of these dancers, when they were still in diapers, we were doing our thing. You were doing your thing. Not too many people know this, the young ones. What you need to know about Alex Lee and Chi, I don't know her last name now, because she's married also. They were the first Asians, one of the first Asians to do this acrobatic stuff and salsa stuff, and went all over the world. And like I'm telling you, you just mentioned that name, Alex and Chi. They know already who that is, because they were the only ones brave enough going against with everyone. Seriously, man. And you know what? You guys rose up at the time when the Latin community were looking down on Asians, because we didn't know how to salsa. We didn't know how to dance. It was at the time. And so just imagine that Alex and Chi were going up against it and proving them wrong. And, Alex and Chi, I'm sure Chi will be watching this. You guys really had a big contribution to the Latin scene in the Bay Area, not just in the Bay Area. Dude, we're talking about Asia. I think you inspired a lot of Asians. Look at the Asians now. They're kicking ass, bro.
Yeah,
right?
Incredible. Yeah, they're incredible.
Right?
Yeah, that's where I did that show in Japan. That's where I got hurt. That's where I blew my knee out. But, dude, the shows out there, I mean, the community out there, it was incredible. Incredible, man. I could just go down the list. Korea, Hong Kong, China, Japan. I mean, the Asian communities have just stepped.
Oh, there's another one. I went to Australia. It's like, hey, you're from South, Alex Lee.
Yeah.
Australia, bro, Australia.
I love them. Nestor, Jamie, all you guys.
And Jamie, because I know you used to go to Jamie's Congress before.
Oh, yeah. We've been there. We've been out to Sydney 3 times, I believe. And it was just amazing.
What's the best city you ever taught and performed at?
Oh, that's a hard one, bro. Okay, so wow. So Sydney's up there. New Zealand is up there. Incredible. Yeah. Hong Kong, that scene is so vibrant, man.
Yeah.
Our coming out party, me and Chi, where we actually our first international show that actually got our name bigger, so that we were able to travel, like crazy for the next several years, was Korea. So that Korea was an incredible place. Just did Japan. Japan was my last show. That was great. India, man, India's amazing. Varun, if you're there, love you, man. That's a great, great scene there. If you want passion, crazy, like right to the heart passion, man, go to India. Those guys do nothing but dance. They don't care what kind of dance. They're just going to do it. They're amazing. So yeah, man, it's hard to say, Rod. We've been around the world, and we've been to 17 countries, and like you've been around too. Every country offers something so amazing, and the people at every country are so incredible in their own way. And that's the biggest gift I think I received through dancing was this travel, was to travel and meet these people and experience these countries. Just to dance. There's nothing in my mind that has been better than that. It's just been incredible.
That was one of my goals. That was one of my vision, and that is for Asian dancers whether they're dancers, whether they're competitors, whether they're promoters, or even DJs, to make a mark in the Latin world, because I know that a long time ago, I know it's a reality, we were looked down upon as far as, why you're dancing our dance? You can't dance our dance. You don't have the sabor, man. This type of thing. Yeah. And that was this is the reason why I started Salsa Gang. Who was the founder of Salsa Gang? A Filipino guy, a Korean guy, a Chinese guy. Come on,
Yeah, I know. I love it, bro. And then, and add to that, just on a personal note for me and Chi, we started when we did that. Yes, you're right about everything, but then bringing tricks into the salsa world. I'm not going to claim that I was the one. I'm not, because Ava and Louie were doing it, and maybe there were a bunch of people before them as well.
Yeah.
I don't know how much flack they might have caught through it. If they caught any, I'm sure maybe they did. But bro, there was a whole lot of hate for me and for Chi. They would say, that's not dancing, that's acting, that's doing tricks, that's not dancing, and that's okay. And you know what, Rodney, I was like, I didn't fight it. I really didn't, because I was like, you know what, I'm going to respect their dance. I'm going to respect their, this Latin community that has been doing this a long time. I'm not going to fight this, but I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do.
That was a stupid comments from them, because they never videotaped you social dancing. Because when you guys are social dancing, you weren't doing tricks. You were social dancing. You were good. You had the intensity in social dancing. You just didn't know the difference between performance and fucking social dancing.
Exactly. So that was the thing. We caught a lot of flack for doing these tricks on stage, man, for many years. But to tell you one thing, we didn't fight. We never fought it. We always had respect for them. But I tell you one thing we did do. We entertained the shit out of people. That's all that mattered.
Now, how did you get the idea to rip that shirt, man?
Oh, I'll tell you when it happened. I'll tell you exactly when it happened. You want to know? You want to know the whole story?
Yeah.
Here's where it is. Backstage, not more than about an hour before we went on in Korea, where I told you we did, that was our coming out party, right?
Yeah.
I was thinking, I just thought of it. I'm like, gee, what if we put something on my chest, And then we thought about it. We're like, now, let's not do it. We got this part in the choreography where we could do it. Let's not do it. I'm backstage, and remember Al Espinosa, Liquid Silver?
Yeah.
Talk about old school, man. We're backstage with Al Liquid Silver, and he overheard me talking about it. He goes, "Hey, dude, that's a good idea." And I'm like, "Yeah." I was like, "But I don't have any markers." Well, that fool, he goes up in full body paint.
He's got all kinds of gadgets, dude.
Right. So he goes, I got plenty of markers. And I'm like, oh, fuck. I'm like, okay, fine. So we put it on. She and I went over exactly when we would do it. And this was literally like an hour before we go on stage, dude. And I'm like, all right, let's try this, man. Rodney, I'm not kidding. We got up there and the thing car, and I lifted the shirt up. Bro, it was so loud. The crowd exploded because I had the Korean flag on me, bro.
Bro, that was just the first time when you did that. But every time you did it, including San Francisco Salsa Congress,
Yeah.
Hey, man.
But it was born in Korea, and it was Rod. It was so loud I couldn't hear my own music. And I'm sitting here. Check this out, bro. So I'm sitting here with my shirt up, and I can't see, right, because my shirt's over my head. And she's next to me, right, in a pose. And I'm sitting there, and it goes like people are screaming. And I yell at you. I'm like, Jay, where's the break? I'm like, Jay, where's the break? I can't hear. And she goes, down. And we stepped in. And it was so insane, dude. So we did it from there on.
Is that in YouTube still? Because I want to see that, man. Because I know I've seen your San Francisco one, but I've never seen the Korea one, bro.
Yeah, I don't know. It was so way back, bro. This was back in like 2001 or something like that, 2002 maybe. So I've never been able to track down a video, unfortunately.
Yeah, I
but
know.
yeah,
That's
where that was born. So yeah, good times.
Dude, I felt bad when Albert Torres died.
Yeah,
one of the best contributor in our scene.
Yeah,
we owe it a lot to that guy for allowing us to expose our talent. Same thing with David Melendez, of course.
Of course.
And you know what? They died while they're doing their thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's very commendable for them. It was their passion. They died with it, you know, and I felt bad about it because he texted me a week before he died. I was like, wow. Yeah, I'm going to Cuba. I was like, what are you going to do in Cuba? I was like, I don't have any health insurance, so I'm going to have it check my body because I haven't been doing lightly. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the last one.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah. You're a good man, bro. I mean, he probably the single biggest contributor to the world of salsa that there has ever been, in my opinion.
No, all of this promotion wasn't perfect, but we can never ignore the fact that that if it wasn't for them, we would not exist.
No, yeah, absolutely right, 100%. Yeah, rest in peace. Yeah, rest in peace.
Now, bro, what do you do nowadays? I know that you got injured there a little bit. You know, I know you went wild in Reno Dance Expo, and then all of a sudden you went to Japan. I think you got injured there. What's the plan? What's the plan, bro?
Yeah, so I blew my ACL out. I blew my knee out on stage in Japan. Literally the last beat of the music, Rod, I throw Kim and I catch her. So I threw her and I caught her and my knee popped, bro, right there. Now
you've done that many times. You've done that many times. I think it's old age.
It is. It had to be, bro. It had to be. It's one of our easiest tricks.
Yeah.
It's a great trick because it's big. It's a full rotation. It's a full flip, and it's really exciting, but it's super easy.
Yeah.
And I had done, I don't know, 4 tricks earlier in that routine that were all harder than that one.
Yeah.
You know, and I must have lost my head a little bit and not caught her right with that knee. I didn't bend my knee enough, obviously, man. But I mean, I think you're right. Part of it's old age too, bro.
It really is old age because you know, there was a time where I could just party 7 days a night, bro, and not feel a damn thing. Now I would just fucking go. Let's say I would stand all day and I feel like I'm dying already.
Right. Exactly.
You know.
That's right.
So, but anyways, look.
So the plan. I'm sorry. I want to answer your question.
What's the plan? What's the plan?
I'm done. My ACL surgery was good. It's been about a year. I spent. I helped run the last fire academy while I was injured, which is really nice. I'm back on the line now. I'm back at work. You know, at the fire station. So that's really nice. You know, the plan moving forward with dancing, I'm not sure yet. You know, I mean,
do you still lift weights though? Do you still work out?
Yeah, I do. Okay. Not you know, obviously differently now with the knee the way it is, but I still work out. But I don't know. You know, with this dancing, we're all in limbo right now, Rod. With this, you know, with this COVID. You know what I'm saying? I mean, there's no shows. You know, it's hard to even rehearse. It really is. I mean, there's very few gyms open right now. So yeah, I don't know about dancing wise.
One thing that you probably hasn't realized is you don't have to compete. You don't have to do the same thing. You can now coach kids or people, the up and coming, because I know you're a good teacher, dude. So, you know, and a lot of people in the competition arena, the acrobatics technique and the safety is a must, you know, and they're looking for that, to have that edge in winning, because if they don't do anything else, they're not going to be able to win, you know?
Right. Exactly.
And you have that, and that's not a hard thing to do, as far as teaching workshop for safety and
Sure.
proper way to lift and everything. Uh,
Yeah.
I got you in that one, man. On my congresses, once we're back, I mean, what the fuck? We don't
Yeah.
know when we're gonna be back, So,
Right. Right. No,
but
absolutely. Yeah. Teaching at congresses, stuff like that. Competing is definitely out of the question now. I mean, there's these kids are so good, and rightfully so. Dance has evolved like all dancing should. But the salsa has evolved into an amazing level. So is the bachata as well, So, but competing wise against things like that at my age, that's insane. There's no
oh yeah,
way.
yeah.
There's no way. And I don't want to go up and just, fight for 10th place. What? That's no fun, dude. You want a shot at you want a shot at the belt, bro.
Yeah.
Anytime you're in the ring, right?
And it's kind
You
of
want to know you got a shot.
when you coach people and they win, it's gonna be one of your proudest moments. I promise you, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I agree with you.
I know you coach some people here and there. I know people from the Bay Area, especially your competitors, ask advice from you because I've seen it.
Yeah.
When I used to judge you guys, I would go to the back door and see you guys helping other dancers doing proper
Yeah.
techniques.
Of course.
That's one of the things that are missing in the competition, are the camaraderie, helping
Yeah.
each other. And I don't see that anymore. But look,
Okay.
Alex, Chi, Kim, I
Mhm.
want to thank you for supporting all of my events. Bro,
Yeah.
you've been loyal, you've been a good
Yeah.
friend, and you've always been there to support the Bay Area, whether they're promoters or dancers or teachers or DJs. You've always been there and always been proud as a Bay Area. I want to thank you for it, brother.
Thank you, man. Anytime, bro. We are where we are, right?
Yep.
Stand proud, stand strong, stand tall, baby.
There was a time when the Bay Area was not on the map. Well, look at the Bay Area now, dude, right?
Yeah. Strong, bro. Absolutely.
Ladies
It's
and
good stuff.
gentlemen, if you like this content and if you actually like Lee, just click like. And if you have not subscribed to my podcast, just click on the right screen and subscribe. We've been getting a lot of views lately, a lot of stuff. Alex, if they want to get in touch with you, they want private lessons, how do they get in touch with you?
Probably just give me hit me on email, alexleefire, all one word, @gmail.com.
Or
Hit me
Facebook,
up.
right? They can message your Facebook too, right?
Facebook. Absolutely, absolutely.
Alex
Anytime.
Lee. Alex Lee is the Facebook is the Alex Lee address, right?
Yes, absolutely.
All right, Alex. It's been fun. Thank you for chatting up with me. Hopefully we can get together again when this pandemic is over. I'll see you at my Congress. Meanwhile, brother, take care and don't forget, you're getting old now.
I am. Thanks, Rod. I appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. Like I said, man, I thought you only had famous people on your podcast, bro. I'm not famous.
You're one of them, brother. You're one of them. I already told you the contribution you did in the world, man, especially in the Asians community. You have no idea how many people you inspired.
No, thank you. I appreciate that, man. Seriously.
All right, brother. You have a nice day, okay?
Okay, Rod. Take care,
Bye
man.
for now.